Hi, I'm Christina.
I'm Maya from Book
Dreams.
Dreams, and welcome to a new video. Welcome to our September TBR video, in which we are completely crazy and we are participating in several readathons. So basically, apparently, September is filled with readathon. I was so surprised. We are participating in the new magical readathon Orilium, which is created and hosted by G from the Book Roast. We will leave all the information about readathon and everything in the description box. Then we are participating in Becca's Bookoplathon, which is a readathon in which you play a version of Becca from Becca Reads Books Bookopoly board, and you basically get some prompts and you find books for those prompts. And we are participating in Space Opera September, which is a readathon created and hosted by Thomas from SFF 180, in which basically this is season 2, and you have to do some other stuff, but I'll talk about that later because it's sort of divided from the first 2 that we are doing. Since both of us are participating in the magical readathon, and I am also participating in the Bookoplathon. Very hard word to say.
Yes.
Basically, we won't tell you about the prompts. We will talk about the books and we will write about the prompts somewhere in the video. You'll see. So basically, it will be.
There will be a different color for magic for the magical readathon and another for Orilium, because basically we both have
some books in common.
A lot of books
in common.
Common, and and the prompts are so just not to repeat 10 times the same books.
Yes.
We're gonna kind of try to squeeze it in a bit. So that's it. So let's start with the first book that I'm reading, and that is The Map by, I forgot. Who? Ritter something, yes. Something Ritter. So this is like a short story actually from the Jacoby series, which is kind of I think it's 19th century Sherlock Holmes and Watson, where Watson is a woman and she's very capable, and Sherlock, that is Jacoby, has some paranormal abilities, and there's paranormal stuff happening, and I actually love the series. This is the only thing I didn't read, and I needed a book with a map, which I couldn't find. So this had the word map in the title, so I'm stretching this because I can. Maya.
Okay, so I am reading Darkdawn by J. Christoph. This is book 3 in the Nevernight Chronicles. Basically, in book 1, we follow Mia Corvere. She is in school to be an assassin. And in the school, stuff happens, lots of stuff. Since it's book 3, I can't really tell you much about the plot. But I can tell you that Mia Corvere is very badass, and I am enjoying this series. And this is the last book in the series, and I just want to finish it, and that's why I'm going to read this. Yeah, that's all I have to say about the book.
Okay, let's move on. Next book I'm reading is going to be the very anticipated Rule of Wolves by Liga Bardugo. This is the second book in the Nikolai trilogy. Duology. Is it the Nikolai? Is it something else?
It is supposed to be called Nikolai, but now apparently it's King of Scars Duology.
King of Scars Duology. So basically, it's a duology where we follow Nikolai Lantsov as he...
Zoya and Nina
as they, kind of...
They prepare for war.
Stuff happens, I think, after the events of Crooked Kingdom, and it's brilliant. I love the first book.
We can't tell you much because
Nikolai
is a character
of a spin-off of the original trilogy, and it's if you don't know the characters, neither Zoya or Nina or Nikolai, we can tell you a lot of stuff about the book and nothing will make sense to you. So
basically everything part of the Grishverse, and characters that we met bunch of books ago, and
it's really good.
All right. The next book I want to talk about is The Echo Wife by Sarah Gailey. So basically, this is a book where Martine. We follow 2 characters, Martine and her scientist person whose name escapes me now. Basically, Martine is a clone
of the scientist person.
Is it? Because I was confused about that part.
Yes. The scientist
made a clone of herself.
And the
clone is sleeping with the husband.
I think the clone is even living with her husband.
Basically, the clone is with the husband because the clone is everything that the wife isn't, apparently. And at some point, the husband turns up dead, and the clone reaches out to the scientist. So together that they can solve this mess and I guess clear the mess, whatever with the mess. So we are reading that. It should be interesting. I'm excited.
Yes. Okay. So next up that we're both reading is Bridge of Souls by
Victoria Schwab.
Is she Victoria Schwab in the middle grade world?
Yes.
I know she has different, like she's V Schwab,
V.
V.
Schwab,
Schwab,
is for,
and Victoria Schwab.
For adults.
Okay, so Victoria Schwab. So this is the third book in the Cassidy Blake series. So Cassidy Blake is a girl that can see ghosts, and her mom and dad are like stars of a show about ghosts.
Hunting
and stuff. And in each book, they're in a different city. The first one was Edinburgh. The second one was Paris. And where are we now?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay, sorry. I totally got confused there. I actually know this. But anyways, we follow her as she basically, you know, has adventures and discovers mysteries. Like, it's difficult to explain right now because, like, she also has, like, a friend, ghost friend.
Best friend, yes.
Best friend, something's
and
happening
also she
to
has
him.
Like a colleague, the other girl, the British girl.
Yeah.
There is like an evil bad guy throughout the series, and in the second book was sort of the first concrete instance where we get to meet them and see them act. So hopefully in the third book we'll see some more. With each book the stakes get higher and higher.
Yeah.
So
it's a fast read. It's interesting. You know, it's a nice middle grade, but
should be fun.
Just you know, like
All right. Another book that we're going to read also is called The Murders of Molly Southbourne by Tate Thomas.
Which we were supposed to read for our horror short story week, which will be linked up above.
Yes.
No plugins. Like
So basically, this is a horror novella in which we follow Molly. Now, every time Molly bleeds, another Molly appears, and the other Molly is gung ho to killing the original Molly. So basically, Molly has to go around surviving from people wanting to kill her that are herself, and that's basically it. All that you need to know about the story. Since it's a novella, it's like 120 pages. It should be short. It should be creepy, and I'm looking
I've
forward
heard
to
good
it.
things about it. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I have something that Maya doesn't have, but that is like a 5-star prediction. You'll see it up down there, and that is The Taking of Annie Thorne by C.J. Tudor. So this was in our video of 5-star predictions for 2020, which I have read maybe 1.5 books
I think I read all of them for that.
You even have a vlog up there about that. So I haven't really been reading my 5-star predictions, so I guess I decided to try now. So basically, The Taking of Annie Thorne is the story of I think a boy. I'm not sure who the main character is, but the main character's sister is kidnapped. She disappears and mysteriously comes back, and nobody knows where she was, what happened to her, and she doesn't want to say what happened. And then that was before, and then we are following this person in the now, where they get an email saying, "I know what happened to your sister, and it's happening again." Da-da-da-da.
Okay.
And since I love, creepy child stuff in my horror, because I don't know, things you like, I think this should be a good read.
Cool. A book that we are actually going to read together is Hollowpox, Hunt for Morgan Crow. This is book 3 in the Morgan Crow series by Jessica.
Nevermore series.
Nevermore series.
I always get that wrong.
Jessica Towston. Basically, Morgan is an unlucky girl, and in her world, she was supposed to die when she turns 11. But the night before her 11th birthday, Jupiter North comes and takes her away to Nevermore, which is a magical world filled with magical stuff and magical animals and everything. And she basically, in the first book, auditions to become part of the academy where she's supposed to learn about magic and about her magic. Since this is book 3, we can't tell you much if you haven't read the first 2. We can tell you that apparently there is a sort of pandemic thing happening in this book in which the magical creatures of the world are getting sick, and almost a Jessica, Morgan and her friends are going to try and find out what's happening. Yeah.
Okay, so what are you reading for Becca's?
Okay, so I have 2 more books that I have to mention for the Becca Bookoplathon that didn't fit anything for the Magic Readathon. So basically, I'm going to read, This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. Basically, in this book, we follow 2 characters. Both of them are sort of from feuding families. So like think Mafia or Romeo and Juliet. I hope it's not Romeo and Juliet. But anyway, basically, they live in a metropolis where violence has begun to create real and deadly monsters. So basically, Kate, the female character we follow, wants to be as ruthless as her father, who lets the monsters roam free and makes the inhabitants pay for his protection. So it's the Mafia. And August, the male character we follow, basically wants to be a human, as good-hearted as his own father, but his curse is to be the one that monsters humans fear. So basically, he's a monster, I guess. And then somehow something happens that forces Kate and August to form an alliance, and then stuff happens. This is a duology. I do have the sequel somewhere on my shelf. But yeah, this has been on my TBR for a really long time, and I wanted to get to it because, you know, it looks cool also. And
it's like her covers.
Well, the US cover, Titan Books, is that US or UK?
I don't know, but they're beautiful. Cool. I love the darker shade of magic too. Like they're like the color combination is just everything to me.
And another book that I'm going to read is called Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton.
God. I was going through Becca's recommendations and that stood out to me. It like was basically, maybe I should read that.
While I was playing the board, I got to like the prompt Becca Rex, so I found her fantasy romance recommendations, and that was the book that sounds interesting and was the smallest page count that I could find. Basically, in this we follow Fortuna. Fortuna had a brother who went missing, and since her brother went missing, she's been looking for him. 2 years go by, and then she basically meets a fairy dude who's like, I know where your brother is, but you have to marry me if you want help. So she marries him, and then they together search for the brother and come involved with some political stuff that's happening in the fairy world and so on. But yeah, it's a fantasy romance, so I'm expecting a lot of romance, and you know, I'm looking forward to that one because it will be a quick read, and that's what you need in a month where there's a bunch of readathons, bunch of books, and when work starts again. Yes. So yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna, you know, go away from all this fantasy, like sci-fi, everything, and skip to something very weird for us, and that is Winesburg, Ohio, by Sherwood Anderson. So this is a short story collection basically about people living in a small town. As I gather, it's some kind of, each story is like a slice of life of these people, and there is some kind of, you know, a common theme plot going on, but like it's not very, I mean, I think it's literary fiction. I can't say that word either, so like yeah. And this we are reading this for our book club. It was a pick by our friend, the one that knows Japanese culture, so we are reading that. I hope it's like some short.
Yes, 240, I think 240.
Oh, that's okay. So yeah, we're reading that. I think it was for the prompt to read something from like the Midwestern setting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're reading that.
She always picks those kinds of books.
Yeah, she... Well, you know, there's always a balance, you know. Yeah. I'll probably choose romance, you'll choose some sci-fi, Tanya will choose some horror or something, and like...
Yeah.
She takes care of our fiction and literary fiction, like, you know.
Yeah. So the third readathon that we mentioned before was the Space Opera September readathon. So this is season 2 of Space Opera September. In season 1, you basically followed prompts to go to follow 2 tracks. You can be like a Federation track, and you can be Rebel track. And as you read books, you sort of rank up the tracks. So during season 1, I became Fleet Commander, Fleet Admiral for the Federation. I don't know, did you do for season 1? No?
I didn't, no.
You didn't. And basically, the point of season 2 for this readathon, you'll see the video down below and everything, so you can check it out yourself, is to build community. And you do that by either body reading a book, which we are doing, or by sort of going into book battles with a person from a different track. So if I went into a book battle with someone, would be someone who is a pirate, or not a spice pirate, but a rebel track. So since she didn't do the first part, we thought, let's body read a book. And we are going to body read A Memory Called Empire by Arcady Martin. And I'm going to read that and the sequel, The Desolation Cold Piece, because if you don't really participate with the other people in the sort of community building thingies, you can have a solo challenge, which is to read a space opera duology or a space opera trilogy. And I chose duology so I can read the Arcady Martin books. Finally, they've been on my TBR for months. But
they have been getting a lot of fun.
Yeah, the first one got like a Hugo for the best novel, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So basically, I'm going to give you a simplified version of what the books are about. Because, okay, so basically we follow an ambassador who writes to her new post to find out that her predecessor was murdered. And so she has to figure out who killed him. And also I think there's a thing that the previous ambassadors leave their memories for the second ambassador to sort of absorb and to know what to do, how to deal with the culture and everything and everything. But the thing is, in this book, our predecessor didn't really update his memories, so she doesn't really know what's happening. So she's trying to solve his murder, and she's also trying to survive her job, in which she's now in this middle of this sort of political instability, and so basically things are sort of up in the air because there's chaos and stuff, and she has to work for the people she's representing, I guess. I don't know, it's so complicated, and I'm like, I hopefully when we read it we will be able to better explain what the books are about.
Yeah, I heard actually, like, my reading things are not, they're not drawn to stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't pick it up on my own, but I've listened to a couple of reviews by people, and I know somebody, I don't remember who, said like there was a lot of world building, political intrigue and stuff like that, and I was like, I love that so much in like the Daylama trilogy that I really like. When I heard that was like a big thing in this book, I was like, I think I would like to read this. And then she kind of like came and said, do you want to read this with me? And I was like, I was just thinking about the book. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yes.
And that's it for all the books that we're going to read in September. Wish us luck.
Yes.
Tell us if you are participating in any of the readathons, if you have read any of the books that we have mentioned, and did you like them or not. Yeah, it's gonna be chaos, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, you'll see at the end of the month how we did. But for now, please like, share, subscribe, press the bell button if you want to get notifications whenever we post new videos. There are important links down below about, various world issues that are currently happening around the world, and there are also all the links to all the readathons, to all the videos that we've mentioned, all the books that we've mentioned. So like, all the info is down below, as you know. Thank you so much for watching and staying with us until now.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.